Hello, everybody, and thank you for coming in and seeing the brand new channel I'm starting up. This is your host, Darkspark. I'm hosting a league that is called the Battle Sparks League. This is actually Season 2, and I'm really excited for this. Season 1 went really well, and so I decided to actually go and start a YouTube channel, and base most of my videos are going to be like of this. I might do a few other things, but we'll get around to that and we'll see. With me, I actually have some people who competed in the previous season and are joining me again in the second season. So go ahead and introduce yourselves.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Bishmii. Glad to be a part of Darkspark on his journey for his new channel. Also want to say, after participating in the BSL season 1, I had a blast. I'm looking forward to season 2. I'm glad to come back as a new coach. I'm also posting my battles over there if you want to check it out. But I'm glad to be here to go over the teams.
Hey, it's Arrtz here. Also, ecstatic to be a part of DD Spark's very first video. He's done an amazing job running this draft league. Season 1 was amazing. So I was excited about coming back and returning for season 2 because I know it's going to be a blast once again. I'll also be throwing up my battles on my channel as well. So yeah, I'm ready to talk about this draft league.
Hey guys, actually Amoongus here, coach of the Atlanta Sobble. Very excited to return for a second season in the BSL. I upload my videos on YouTube for my draft battles and a couple other things here and there, as well as streaming on Twitch. And I'm excited, to participate in season 2. Like everybody else said, it's going to be a blast.
Howdy doody mates, my name is Shay Defeat and I am your coach of the Straw Hat Crocodiles, and we'll be coming here in season 2. We had a little rebrand. I used to be the New England Crocodile coach, then I said F that team. Deleted my whole team from that season 2 video on YouTube. Like everyone else before you guys, I will actually be posting my battles on my channel as well, and I'm looking forward to a season 2 BSL battle with Arrtz week 1.
I'm Tansy, coach of the Baltimore Blazerkins and champion of BSL Season 1. Unlike everyone else, I am not a YouTuber and will not be posting any videos.
I thought he was about to say, unlike everyone else, I won.
I totally thought that was coming too, and I was about to bust up laughing.
Let's say, okay, pop your collar, man.
We'll see how long that lasts. Alright, so this is going to be a draft analysis going over how everybody drafted, what we think their possible strategies could be. I mean, I know you guys don't have to reveal your strategies because obviously people will see this and be like, oh, well, they're going to be doing this. Alright, so we're going to get started actually with the Straw Hat Crocodiles. So Shade, I'm going to let you take the floor on this because this is your team. Also, we separated the league because there are 16 coaches, so we separated it into leagues of 8. So there's an armor league and a tundra league. So this is all the next 8 that we will be going over are part of the armor league. So this will be everybody that's participating against each other. There's no cross league play until the playoffs. The top 4 of each.
Armor league, strong league.
Honestly, the armor league is pretty stacked.
But let's go ahead and talk about who I picked up for my tiers. My drafting was pretty nice. I was actually able to get a lot of Pokemon I really wanted. I was really happy that I didn't get sniped that hard compared to others. Sorry, Eric. But but for our G-Max tier, we went ahead. We picked up G-Max Cinderace. S tier, we went for Dragapult. A tiers, we went for Umbreon and Alolan Ninetales. Our B tiers were Flygon and Starmie. And then our C tiers, rounding out the rest of their team, is Scoutland, Sulk, Vileplume, and Vigavolt.
Can I?
Go ahead.
Can I just say something? I'm shocked you got G-Max, Cinderace, and Dragapult. Those were top. I thought those were going to be the top 2 picks for both those tiers.
Yeah, I thought Dragapult was going to be gone, and I looked back to the drafting and I was like, hold up, that seems so here.
And he did have the first pick, so of course he's going to choose the most overpowered Mon. I mean, yeah. I lost last season, but I was ready to beat him this one, so I'm not surprised he would need something like that.
Yeah, I'm not surprised either.
Oh,
But
wow.
but the fun thing was that you threw your match, and I appreciate it for you. By the way, how'd you like my knockout setting up in your face?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yo, you don't have it this season. I don't have
Oh,
to
that's
worry about it.
crazy.
Wow, I don't have to worry about this season. Wow, so that means you're just gonna go ahead and discontinue your own reign for me again.
Oh
What are
my
you gonna do for me
god.
this season? What are you gonna do for me this season?
I might set up trick room for you.
My trick room for me. Appreciate it.
I mean, you did that for me last season, Shade.
Hey, it's not. Hey, what goes around comes around. But you know what the funny thing is? My Cinderace will actually hit its moves.
That's okay. Okay.
Why do I get thrown into this? This is
I was
crazy,
about
bro,
to
'cause that's
say-
Shade throwing at me.
Shade
I'm just
threw
sitting
at
back.
everybody.
I'm just sitting back, bro.
The only people I don't have an issue here in this call is Amoongus and Tansy.
Wow. All right, bro. Explain your team. Go ahead.
So my first draft pick, I didn't really care about my Gmax at all. I just wanted to piss off Arrtz. So Cinderace was an obvious choice for me. Don't you be surprised if you see me running a dumb set like a choice spec set? Because I honestly don't care. I might name this thing Arrtz and let Arrtz kill it.
Oh my gosh.
That'd be amazing.
For the record, Arrtz is a huge fan of Cinderace. He actually first pick last season was
Actually,
So that was
Cinderace.
I named my team after Cinderace
Yeah, it
in
was.
season 1.
Yeah.
Can I change my team name?
Don't know,
I won't be
please.
the new. I won't be the new.
New York
Cinderace. I won't be the New York Cinderace. Actually, no, 'cause my Cinderace might miss for me.
That's true.
Don't do that.
It might get some PTSD going on and be like, oh my god.
This
Yeah.
is insane.
Arrtz abused his Cinderace. Let me tell you this. Arrtz
Yo,
really
what,
missed.
bro?
Arrtz missed so much.
Arrtz, you did miss like 90% of your 90% chance hitting moves.
Hey,
Like,
man,
I
it
will
happened.
never
We're moving
forget-
on to
I will
season
never
2.
forget
We're
you
moving on to
used high
season
jump
2.
kick, and you missed a high jump kick against a Rotom Wash, which is actually part of your team this year. Glad
Also-
to see you learn from your mistakes.
Also, Arrtz, I remember last season I was offering to trade you my Draco's ult for your Cinderace, and you were like, I don't want to trade a Hustlemon for another Hustlemon.
Yep. Bro, that's what it was feeling like at that point.
I didn't miss that much. I don't remember seeing a miss. Will you ever say you missed?
No, actually, my Draco's ult hit like every single move. I was shocked. That's why I was, because when I first drafted him last season, I know we're talking about the previous draft, but when I first drafted him, I was like, okay, if he starts missing like a lot, I'm gonna trade him out for something else. I had something
You know
else
what?
in mind.
You know what's interesting? I don't think Draco's ult was picked up this season.
No, he wasn't.
Yet.
No, not
That's
yet.
interesting.
Dragapult was a great mon to pick up. Very nice Pokemon. I don't have to run Choice Scarf or a Choice Scarf on it. It can naturally outspeed a lot of Choice Scarf mons that are UC usually. So
That's true.
Dragapult's a really good pickup for me. Umbreon is one of my first A tier. Wasn't my original Dark type I was going to have for the team. My original Dark type was going to be Crocodile. And then the pick right before mine, he got sniped by our good friend, actually Amoongus. But in all honesty, I'm very happy with Umbreon because it's a very nice Clerkmon. It can set up Wish, Protect, Toxic, and Heal Bell. So Intoxistol will not be in the plays for us. A tier, our other A tier is Alolan Ninetales. Overall, it's a nice fast mon if I really needed to run as a fast special attacker, or I can run it as a utility mon, setting up my Aurora Veil, letting my other mon set up. Flygon Starmie. Starmie was just a fast water special attacker. A lot of special attackers are prioritized over physical attackers, I feel like. And I feel like Starmie was a really good pickup for my team. And Flygon is kind of like Lucario from my Season 1. Flygon will be mainly used to be a rotation of a physical and special attacker, because I can run it as both. Running down our C tier, I used to have Lycanroc Knight. And then I decided to go ahead and trade him off for Scotland. Scotland is an incredible normal type for a C tier pickup. It has the scrappy ability. It has access to moves like Retaliate, so I can bring it in as a revenge killer and guarantee hit wherever my opponent wants to spin out. Salk is a nice knockoff user, plus with a sturdy ability, I can use him also as a revenge killer for a Pokemon that's set up too much.
Quick question: does Saw get guts?
Salk gets Mold Breaker, sturdy, and I think inner focus. I don't think he gets guts.
No, it does not get
okay,
guts.
okay.
Stoutland, though, another thing though is Stoutland gets intimidate.
Yeah, so Scoutland can also run as an intimidator. Or if I wanted to, if my I know my team, my opponent's gonna run a sand team, I can run sand rush.
Ooh, that's interesting.
Coming back, like I said, from season 1, back to my team is Vile Plume. Vile Plume was an incredible wall for most people. It's basically playing the same role as Umbreon. If I really had to, I have Toxic String, Sap, Protect, and attacking move just to sit there and tank hits. Vikavolt is a mon that I really always wanted to use. I just never really saw the place for it until like I got to my C tier pick. So I can use this as a roosting offensive wall because in Gen 7 it actually has roost, so I'm able to bring that over, which I'm very happy to do. Also has access to sticky webs, so I can set up sticky webs on my opponent to help my team help speed a lot more. And the slowest mon on my team is actually Vikavolt at base 55.
Interesting.
Isn't Umbreon slower? I thought Umbreon was like 50.
Umbreon is like 65.
65? Okay.
So Vikavolt, so my team compared to last year my team was kind of like mediocre speed. Like it was it has an average speed of like 80. This team has almost an average speed of 95.
Wow.
Yeah, no, this team does look very intimidating when I first look at it too.
I want to say your team is like really like it has a good balance between the walls and your like offense. You know, like you said, you got a couple of special attackers, and like you have Dragapult and Flygon, which could be dual, either special or physical. You know, you have Ninetales with the option of Aurora Veil. You know, Amoongus had that last season. He played it really well. You know, like you said, you have Vikavolt with the sticky web. So, I mean, your team is pretty solid, you know, not to mention, you know, we already talked about it, but G-Max Cinderace, I want to say, is probably the best G-Max, you know, with Libero changing the ability to go from max Airstream to max Knuckles, then that Pyro Ball is always going to hit hard.
Oh, yeah, and then it's like, that's one of like the things I really liked about Cinderace, looking at it as a player for the team. It's really, like, it can be any type I needed to be at a certain point. So if I'm going against, like, if I'm against a rock or ground type, I can just change my typing real quick so I don't get hit super effectively. So I can make, I've seen people on ladder make Cinderace a tanky mon to some respects.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't have horrible HP stats, and its defenses aren't completely bad. Like,
it's a starter. Like Arrtz said, you know, these starters for this gen, like,
yeah,
you know, they went crazy.
But my overall team, my overall idea for the team, like, it's 85% what I wanted. The other 15% was just like I had to like make up at the spot.
Right. As Bishmii said, I think you filled out your team really well. Obviously, it has humongous offensive threats, and then you balance it out with some really bulky mons as well, such as the Umbreon and Vile Plume. So I mean, like, looking at it, if I was to rate this team from a 1 to 10, I'll probably, it's no lower than a 8 to 8.5. Like, that's the lowest I'll go. On paper, I think this team is extremely strong. You have a nice mixture of special attackers. You can even set up screens very easily with Ninetales. Like, you have, this team is hard to see on paper what it's missing at first glance.
Very hard to see.
So, to give you guys a little insight, there were 2 trades I made. One was during the free time period that we had, and one was made after the free period. I had Lycanroc Dusk instead of Scoutland, and I had Pinsir instead of Flygon. The main issue I had with those 2 mons right there and then is that I had a huge fire and rock weakness on my team. So I needed to get rid of one of those. I need to get rid of Pinsir so I can get a better defensive mon. And Flygon fits that role perfectly with his ground and dragon type. Scoutland does a lot more for my team versus the Lycanroc, because Lycanroc, like, it has great attack, great speed, but compared to like everything else in the C tier, I just felt like that one had a lot more coverage.
Okay. Appreciate that.
I'd say that was a good choice, actually.
Yeah, that one's very good.
All right. Any more comments on the Straw Hat Crocodiles?
Yeah, they're going down week 1.
Oh yeah, they're up against Arrtz, week 1.
They're going down week 1.
Did you miss that point? Do you want to reply that?
And with that, we are moving on to actually the Wind and Wildfires, which is Art's team.
All right, give me 1 second. Let me go to my team page.
He doesn't even know what Monzi picked.
All right, I'm on the page. All right, so obviously the way the draft worked was that we was each allotted. I don't know if Shade explained this. We was each allotted 1 G Max, 1 S tier, 2 A's, 2 B's, and 4 C's. So the mons I actually chose, my S tier was my G Max was Charizard, S tier Komodo, my 2 A tiers were Rotom Wash, Chansey, my 2 B tiers was Mandibuzz and Dust Like a Rock, and then my 4 C tiers consisted of Shuckle, Trevenant, Mr. Rhyme, and Berserker. Now, obviously, as it was stated earlier, my mascot last season was Cinderace, but obviously that thing is strong. It was pretty evident that I was gonna go early in the draft, so me having like a lower draft seed, I was pretty prepared for it to go. So once G-Max Cinderace was taken, I'm very comfortable with using fire types. So with that in mind, I definitely wanted to draft a fire type, and G-Max Charizard. If you can't get G-Max Cinderace, I don't think Charizard is not as strong, but is not a bad replacement. So we definitely went for the G-Max Charizard. When it came to my S tier, I actually really, even last season, I always looked at Komodo in high regards. So when I seen it on board this time, I definitely just sniped it up right away, because as a dragon type, obviously there are other dragons that's faster than it, but I mean, this thing's setup potential is really good. So when I seen it was still available, because I did kind of have like a wheelish pick, so after G-Max Charizard, my pick came up right away. I was like, wow, this thing's on the board, I definitely want to snipe it up.
This thing has like base 600.
Yeah.
It's a pseudo legendary, yeah.
All of its stats besides the HP and speed are 100 plus.
Mm-hmm.
So, like,
right, this thing is a monster. So
and definitely on my radar.
Yeah, and with all the stat boosting moves too, like it gets Clangorous Soul, like it can even use Dragon Dance if you really want to. Instead, if you want to conserve HP,
you could. Right, there's so many different ways. The versatility of this mon is stupid. Like, it's really good. You could run it bulky if you want. You could run it offensively. You could do a body press. You could do Iron Defense body press. You could do Dragon Dance. You could do Clangorous. So like, this mon is so versatile. So when it was still on the board, I was like, I'm taking this thing now. Then going down, obviously, when it came to my A tiers, I've been in 2 draft leagues so far. In both draft leagues, I really wanted to draft Rotom Wash, but it always came down to a situation where I wasn't able to draft Rotom Wash. So I went for Rotom Mo, who is extremely good in its own right, but just across the board, Rotom Wash is probably the better mon. So I was like, you know what? I finally get the chance to draft this thing. Why not draft it? So definitely picked up Rotom Mo. It's basically going to serve as Rotom Wash, I'm sorry. It's definitely going to serve as a better Rotom Mo on my team, which I'm so excited about. Just because of the typing alone. The grass water typing is a little bit more solid and defensive than the electric grass typing, I'm sorry. And then when it came to Chansey, I drafted Chansey just based off the fact that that's a mon I don't ever want to face, like, ever. I hate going against
so it was a counter pick, basically. It was a counter pick.
Right, yes, exactly.
Ethan, I think you sniped Ethan with that one.
Yeah, I probably most definitely did. I was looking at it, I was like, yo, I'm not going to want to face this thing ever. So I was like, you know what, I'm drafting it, and I'm going to make other people deal with it. So that was the thought behind Chansey. When we go down to Mandibuzz, Mandibuzz was chosen for Defog. That was the biggest reason. Obviously, Charizard is 4 times weak to Stealth Rock. So, I mean, there's obviously, especially in Ave Gen, there's ways to get around Stealth Rocks, obviously. But just in case, like, you always want to have a Defogger or a Rapid Spinner. So I went with Mandibuzz. Obviously, it's a huge wall as well. Things like Foul Play, especially if a mon starts setting up. If you have Foul Play on Mandibuzz, that is a lovely tool to have on your team. So Why not? Then we have Just Like It Rock. I strictly drafted Just Like It Rock because Bishmii had not too much before drafted Like It Rock, the Dawn Like It Rock, and we've been having this back and forth about which Like It Rock form is better. So this one was a personal pick for me. Like, I'm determined to have Like It Rock Dust have more kills than Like It Rock Dawn this season. So hopefully it plays out like that. And then when we go down
week ones
and
against
then
huh? Say that again?
too bad your week one's against me.
That I'm not saying whether I'm bringing it or not. Who knows?
All I know is against me, my Dawn is gonna sweep your team 6-0, just like Dunsparce. Anyway.
Oh my god.
I agree with that. I rate that sentence. I rate that one sentence.
It's crazy because I faced Shade week 1 and then I faced Bishmii week 2. So I don't know. We doing a lot of talking. Hopefully y'all can back it up.
Arzar got an Excel Rock on his name on it. That's all I'm saying.
Oh my god.
I would never be so stupid as to have Charizard out against, unless like there's obviously no other choice. But going down to my C tiers, we have Shuckle. Shuckle, I literally drafted Shuckle because of DD Sparks, bro.
I had a feeling. I was like, I lost all my good mons because I wanted to redraft a few of them. But Shuckle was one of them. I couldn't get him. I couldn't get Sableye. I couldn't get Mudsdale. All three of those base core defensive mons were taken. I was like, oh, great.
Mudsdale was actually on my list too. Now that I think about it, I can't remember when Mudsdale went, but I think I actually, like, while in the process of the draft, I think I had myself drafting Mudsdale before Shuckle, if I'm not mistaken, because I really did want Mudsdale at some point too. But yeah, Shuckle, I've seen what this thing is capable of doing because of DD Sparks in the playoffs last season. So I was like, yo, I cannot let anyone else. It's basically like the same thing with Chansey. I can't let anyone else have this potential power. So I definitely snagged that off the board as soon as possible. Trevenant, I drafted Trevenant because Trevenant's another mon that is overlooked. Like, Trevenant could be extremely annoying to deal with. And plus I drafted Trevenant to fill out kind of my fire, water, grass core with Charizard. Then we have Rotom, and then we have Trevenant. I definitely wanted a good grass type, but at this point, a lot of good grass types was chosen. I did overlook, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't realize that at this point in the draft that Vileplume was still available, because at the time I would have definitely drafted Vileplume over Trevenant. So
for you anyway. So
that's cool. It wouldn't have had a choice. It wouldn't have had a choice.
It would have missed on purpose. It would have missed it. It would have missed
100% moves would have missed.
Yeah, but yeah, I ended up drafting Trevenant. I'm very comfortable with the pick. I'm very happy that I have it. So, and I'm excited to use it. I love it shiny. That's another thing. So I'm very excited to use this thing. Then we have Mr. Rhyme and Berserker. Honestly, I wanted a steel type just because, which is actually crazy, because the likes of Toxapex isn't even, I believe Toxapex isn't even in our division. I strictly wanted a psychic type, so when I dealt with things like Toxapex, I have something that could hit Toxapex really hard. But like I said, as it worked out, I gotta look again, and maybe because of the fact that Toxapex may not be in
Toxapex isn't in your league.
Division.
It's not in your division.
Right. That's always, Mr. Rhyme is something I'm always going to be looking at to see if I could flip it for something else. And then obviously I wanted a steel type to it's always good to have a steel type. Now Berserker isn't the best steel type, but I believe it was one of my I think actually Berserker was my very last pick. It's not the fastest mon, it's not the bulkiest mon, but this thing does hit like a truck. If it's able to hit, if it's able to survive a hit from anything and then hit it back in return, the amount of damage this thing is going to do is crazy. As you guys seen, I don't know if everyone has watched the scrim I uploaded earlier, but I did upload a scrim against one of my good friends, David, and the Buffalo Braviaries. David had knocked off my choice band and I was still able to OHKO a Passimian. So this thing hits extremely hard. So if we able to catch something on a switching, or if we're able to hit a live a hit and hit it in return, whatever's taking that hit is receiving massive damage. So I'm actually very excited to try and use Berserker. And I've never, actually my scrim against David was the first time I've ever used Berserker in battle. So that's another thing. There was another mod that I've never used before. And I was like, you know what? Is this low in the draft and it's still available? Let's just pick it up. So yeah, I'm excited. That's the days on my team. I think we have, looking at my team, we do have a lot of bulk. We do have some hard hitters as well, especially if they get to set up. But I don't think my team is as well-rounded when it comes to balancing bulk and offense like Shades is, but I still think we have a nice combination of both where we could hit really hard, and obviously with things like Chansey and Shuckle and Mandibuzz, we could definitely tank a lot of hits.
Mm-hmm.
When you
So what are your guys'
first
thoughts?
when you first started picking, I immediately thought you were going for a Sun team, and because I was going for a Sun team, I was scared. So I was
Okay.
like, "Oh God!" I was like, "I better not pick Torkoal. I really need that Torkoal."
Yo, you want to tell you to be honest? Torkoal would stop me from drafting a Sun team, like more of a Sun team, because I probably wasn't going to draft full Sun anyway. But I definitely prioritize Torkoal over Ninetales. I just personally don't think Ninetales is as good as Torkoal, especially because it's not as bulky. But I was going to choose Charizard, and then my next pick was going to be Torkoal, but I believe, I can't remember when you chose Torkoal, actually.
I didn't choose Torkoal then. It was my third pick. My
No, I chose Dragapult. I believe my next pick was going to be Torkoal, but I don't even remember.
who?
But I definitely not Dragapult.
Como.
Como, right?
Yeah.
Other Dragon.
Torkoal, I can't, but definitely Torkoal was on my mind, but I didn't get to draft it. And I was looking at Ninetales, and I was like, I really don't want Ninetales. I may need it in the future, who knows? But as of now, I think we can fare really well without it.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, because immediately I was like, I got to pick up this Torkoal before Arrtz does, because otherwise then my team is
Yeah,
moot.
I definitely did want Torkoal. But instead, because I believe Torkoal was B tier, right?
Torkoal's A tier.
A tier, okay.
We bumped
so-
him up because of
Yeah.
all the new like Pokemon coming in.
Yeah, like I'm very satisfied with my A tiers though. That's the thing too. Like Chansey and
You have a very, very bulky
Golden
A
Rock.
tier, and even B
Right.
tier is pretty bulky.
right. I'm very satisfied with it. So like I said, I'm like, I don't need Ninetales right now. If I do need it later, it's going to be very tough, but I don't see myself picking up Ninetales.
Yeah, I don't see you dropping off, because Ninetales is in the B tier, so you'd have to drop either Mandibuzz or
Right,
Lycanroc.
right.
And honestly, I'm sorry, Bishmii, Lycanroc Dusk is better. He's even on a higher tier than the other two.
Talk to him. I tried to tell him.
And
tried to
my
tell
my
him.
only
I'll
reason
say
being
this, I'll
is
say
it
this.
gets the ability Tough Claws. If it
Yeah,
didn't
but
have that,
I tried to tell
the other
him.
one would be better. But
Post a
because
video
of
of
Tough
Lycanroc.
Claws, that
That's Lycanroc beating midday Lycanroc. Bishmii has the video to prove that his
Hey,
his midday
like
can go
I said,
1-on-1.
like I said, 1v1, of course the midday is going to win because it's like literally 2 points faster. But
Yeah.
I'm talking about if you building a team. Like I think Dusk is 110 and midday is 112. That's
Yeah.
not going to make a difference for the most part if you're building a team. So the fact that it gets Tough Claws means that it hits so much harder than Dusk. So that's why, in my opinion, Dusk is better.
I actually agree with Arrtz on that. I'm
You
sorry,
go
Bishmii.
0-7 this season. I don't want to hear nothing about Dust. I don't want to hear the conversation no more. Like for real. Like, no, when you drown in pools, I don't want to hear nothing.
Do you even rock, bro?
Hey, all I'm gonna say is if you look back to the scrim, look how much that now. Matter of fact, I don't even think there's a valid point because I don't think Stone Edge is affected by Tough Claws, is it?
No, it
it's
is.
not.
It is.
It is.
Stone Edge is affected by Tough Claws. It is. It's a
Okay,
direct
so-
contact move.
So let's look at that. Did you like the amount of damage Stone Edge did to that Scizor? Even shocked me. I was not expected to do that much, and Stone Edge took a big chunk out of that Scizor. So since it does affect, since Tough Claws does affect it, you gotta think to yourself like that's not happening with the midday unless you're choice banded or something. I wasn't even choice banded, so I mean like that's why I was very happy that things were real. Like I said, I strictly drafted it to basically have this battle inside of a battle with Bishmii throughout the season, showing that Dusk is the better mon. So that's gonna be fun too.
I just looked it up. It actually doesn't.
It
Yeah,
doesn't?
I'm-
I swear it
I'm-
does.
Yeah, I'm looking at
it.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. It doesn't. It's not affected by Tough Claws.
Yeah.
Solrock
Sworn it was.
A Celerock is. I was
Solrock
yeah, I was-
is.
right. So I have a stronger Celerock.
Okay, but you're only gonna use it to kill. Why are you're gonna use it as like a last resort move? We're not clicking Accelerock just to press Accelerock.
I will, bro. Did you not see the scrim? Did you not? I used it on Teleon. Like it wasn't to kill. Like I just wanted damage, and it did kill, but it did a lot of damage.
Then you
They
went
get
down.
that 52 power to sell rock out of here.
Tell him again,
No,
please.
his is 52. When it's boosted by Tough Claws, mine's is stronger. So
That's why it's 52.
Hey, so,
All right, so any thoughts on the
Bishmii
team
is
before we
40.
move on? Any thoughts on the team before we move on?
No, I
this is
think
kinda like overall. This is like kind of for overall for everyone who's like watching this and never done a draft league. it's very hard for like a lot of people to draft the team that they absolutely wanted. Because this wasn't the team that I wanted for the Straw Hat Crocodiles. This isn't the team probably Arrtz wanted for his team. But it's all about balancing your weaknesses and everything.
Right. I'll say I probably got about, out of the 10, I'll probably say I got about a 4 or 5 solid mons that I actually was like, you know what? And that's including Charizard, actually, because like I said, being 14th in the draft, I wasn't expected to get Cinderace. So I could honestly say I got about 4 or 5 mons that I was planning on getting. So my draft, it worked out pretty well.
Because for everyone who like remember what I was saying when I had like all these weaknesses, that's really bad if I drafted that whole team and I just didn't realize, oh crap, I have rock and fire weaknesses everywhere. I couldn't.
Right.
So when you look at someone like Arrtz's team has a really nice defensive core.
Right. I will say this though, we are, and it's not even too bad. It's not. We do have like a little weakness to fighting, but like I said, it's probably rare where I'll bring all 3 of those mons anyway to the same battle. Yeah. Especially if they do have like a huge fighting threat. So, I mean, it is what it is. Like I said, if there's anything we need to address, like I said, I could really look at Mr. Mime throughout the season and see possibly what I could do with it.
That's true.
That is very much true.
My thing about your team is like, so you went the G-Max Charizard route, and like the main place that I've seen is obviously, as Dr. Spark said, on the Sun. So I mean, without revealing, your plans for the season, I mean, do you see yourself running a more solar power or blaze? And if you do run solar power, would you say, like, you could just answer yes or no? Do you think you would set Sun for yourself?
Sure.
Like you could answer.
Hey.
If you look at the team, what's my other option of setting Sun? You get what I'm saying?
Trevenant.
Yeah, you would have to do it manually. Well, like Trevenant gets Sunny Day, Shuckle gets Sunny Day. I mean, a lot of Pokemon get weather moves. So, like, what do you think of that option?
I don't have a choice. You get what I'm saying? Like, I'm either gonna run it most of the time.
Do you think
it's not a team that automatically switches in and sets up Sun? So obviously I'll have to set it up manually myself.
Yeah, because G-Max Charizard, you can't bring Dynamax Charizard. You have to bring G-Max, which means you can't set up the Sun.
Right.
And that's another thing about this draft league.
Even without Sun, a Life Orb Charizard is still blowing things back.
Yeah, no, I agree.
You still got G-Max Wildfire. You still got Max Airstream, which is with a Life Orb. Now, against other Dynamaxes, they're going to take it a lot better. But against mons that's not Dynamax, a Life Orb, either one of those moves is going to be doing a ton of damage.
Right. I agree.
And like Arrtz said, like, and I was like, when we were talking about it during the stream, like, you guys have to have the removal. Because even though, yes, there are things like heavy-duty boots, there's always knockoff. And if you have to switch that Pokemon out, because if you really need it, you're going to be coming right back into hazards.
Yeah.
And especially with how, like, hazards are really killer for your Charizard, especially with Stealth Rocks.
Yeah, it takes out 50%.
Right.
50% yeah. Right off the back. Mandibuzz takes 25. Shuckle takes 25. Mr. Rhyme takes 25. A lot of your Pokemon take 25% from Stealth Rocks.
Right.
But he's got Mandibuzz, and he's got a few other ways to get rid of it.
Rotom
also gets Defog. He's got ways to clear it.
Mr. Rhyme can learn Rapid Spin.
Rapid Spin, yeah. He's got several like spinners that he could use.
And Mr. Mime's really nice because of its ability, Screen Cleaners.
Screen Cleaners, yep. You can completely...
you probably can't hide behind screens.
Right. That was another huge reason why I
screens.
That's another reason why I drafted it, because Mr. Rhyme, as well as hitting pretty hard, we seen it last season. This mon does have the potential to hit really hard. It does have a lot of good utility on it, so it's a pretty good pickup. I'm happy with it.
Has really nice coverage too with Thunderbolt, Shadow Ball.
Yes.
I think it gets Freeze Dry as well.
It does get Freeze Dry.
Yeah, which is another huge move for it.
Yes.
All right.
Well, that's about all I have to say.
All right. Well, Arrtz, so far I've seen you've been rating teams on a scale of 1 to 10. So what would you rate your team on a 1 to 10? I'm curious.
I'll say 7.5 to 8.
7.5 to 8. Okay.
Right.
I like that. I like that.
Right.
All right, we're gonna go on to the next one now. The next one is the New York Knicks. All right, Bishmii, you're up.
Oh boy.
Oh, here we go. Coach of the New York Knicks. Last season, we unfortunately did not make the playoffs.
Right. I'm sorry. This is the junior varsity team of the league, bro. I swear.
Well,
Look at
well,
these
I will
junior
say,
varsity Mons.
Bishmii.
Junior varsity Mons.
I feel like, Bishmii, if you would have picked up that G-Max Dreadnought earlier last season, you would have made playoffs. I had a feeling you would have won maybe some of those matches that were earlier.
No, he would have made playoffs against me if he didn't take away his own reign.
Yeah, I feel like last season, I had a rough start, and then after I saw that Dreadnought was putting in a lot of work, I got it as a G-Max because it was still free, and I went on I think a 2-win or a 3-win streak, and then like I said, unfortunately I didn't make it. Maybe if I had Dreadnought earlier, it would have been better. But this season, I saw Rillaboom and Grookey being like my favorite start out of the three. I wanted to use it, so I picked it up as a G-Max. I actually got third draft pick, which is pretty good. So Grassy Surge is going to be putting in work. Dunsparce, you guys on the tier side, unfortunately I wasn't going to be there for most of the tiering, but I saw Dunsparce as a S tier. It was there for a reason, and to see it not go undrafted for so long, I was surprised. I got it as my last pick. So I'm ready to show people what this thing can do.
I hope you know that we put that Dunsparce there as a joke because I didn't feel like anybody would pick it. And
I didn't. I knew the threat.
So what? Could somebody run New York Knicks versus Immortal Trippa?
I got you.
I feel like
Future Shade, do it.
Bishmii drafted Rillaboom, and then Rillaboom drafted the rest of the team.
Pretty much.
Yeah, if you look at my team, I have a lot of under evolved mons, or like mons with like low base stat total, like Rillaboom and Fletchinder. But I picked up Fletchinder because I wasn't able to get Talonflame, and I really like the Gale Wind's priority. I could do Tailwind stuff, fly, or even just like be annoying. I like Wheezing because I have that in my other draft league, the SRL, and that neutralizing gas could put a stop to a lot of Pokemon. Like just not having ability could do a lot. Like I could compare that to Golduck with Cloud9. I bring in Wheezing, Electric Surge doesn't go off, Weather doesn't go off. Cinderace doesn't change types. It loses the stab on everything. So like Wheezing with the gas is like a really good Pokemon. Magnezone, sorry for sniping Amoongus with that one. I used it before, analytic, that thing could put in work. I only got Dreadnought because I used to have Tauros, and I picked up Dreadnought to go up against rain teams so that I could have my own abuser to fight them with. My C picks, like I already said, Reboot. I picked up Reboot because Reboot could hit hard with Liberto. Outside of, you have Cinderace and S tier and the G-Max tier. Reboot could do the same thing. And I hope people don't sleep on that either. I have Thievul mainly for like Grassy Seed stuff from Burden.
Technically, Reboot has a higher base stat total than your S tier.
If you want to look technically, yes, that is very much true.
Alright, my S tier will put in work. Tansy, watch out. I got the Lycanroc because I don't know, I wanted to draft it because I like using Lycanroc, and Quagsire, I just wanted a water absorb mon, something to really hold down my team. Outside of the rest of my team, I want to say my best picks were Rillaboom, Wheezing, Magnezone, and Quagsire. Those were really strong picks. But yeah, what do you guys think about my team?
I can agree with that. I actually really like it. The Galarian Wheezing, I think, is going to put in work this season. I have a feeling, because that was actually on my list of possible picks. But yeah, no, it's going to do work. I have a feeling.
I just appreciate you picked up the best Lycanroc form.
Whatever.
That's improvement on video. That's improvement on video.
You also managed to snipe 2 of my picks, being Quagsire and Reboot.
I'm sorry for all the snipes, man. Being in third, you get a lot of priority. Like I said, I got Boom, and then I think my second pick was Reboot, and then Thievul. So I definitely wanted those two mons because, like I said, Max Cinderace went first, and Cinderace went, I think, in the second round. So like, Reboot is like the next best thing behind those two. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm pretty sure. What, Darkspark? Do you have Talonflame?
Yeah, I have Talonflame. I picked him up like my second pick because somebody picked all my favorite mons. Yay!
Who did
We'll get into that later.
Tansy picked Azumarill. And then on top of that, my S tier pick was Volcarona, which was also picked. So I was like,
Yeah,
okay.
Definitely
I
want to
can't say this about Bishmii's team. It does have those 3 Pokemon with low base stat totals, but like that can be somewhat deceptive because chances are that's not going to be what he brings. Is even if you include Thievul, he's probably not going to bring all 4 of those Pokemon at once. But they have certain niche uses that they can bring, and he does have debatably, he definitely has a top 3 Gigantamax Pokemon.
I can
Put it
agree
wherever
with
you
that.
want to, but it's one of
Oh
the
yeah,
best.
G-Max Rillaboom is stupid good. That thing is
Especially with
strong.
Grass Seed.
Yeah,
Oh my
I
gosh.
definitely wanted to pick up Pokemon that I was interested in using and like making them work as a team, like with other very strong bonds. Like you said, with the G-Max Rillaboom, I feel like that would be a good anchor for my team. And then just showing what kind of these mons could do. You look at my team, like I said, you see these Pokemon is like what's his plan on drafting, but just want to show people that it could work. I feel like it'll be fun, like different texts and stuff.
Just to let everyone know, we all have 5 free trades, so if this team doesn't go for him very well, he has 5 trades to pick up his team. Hopefully he doesn't do what he did last season and wait a little too long to trade his Pokemon out, but...
Yeah, I would say 3 games in is when you should decide if you should switch
No,
or...
2
Well, no,
games
even now it should probably be
2
2 at most.
Yeah, I would say 2 games.
Because it's down to
Yeah.
7, I forgot. We went from 10 games to 7 games because of the split.
Yeah, so you definitely gotta go at least 4 and 3. You gotta be positive.
Yep.
You have no choice but to be positive. You can't pull what I did. Like, I barely made it with 5 and 5. You can't even do that now.
I will say a lot of people are probably going to sleep on this team, though, because there are a lot of gimmicks on this team that could really work.
I really like the
Bro,
part,
I'm
Eclipse was
hibernating.
Unaware.
I'm
I'm 100% hibernating, bro. I can't wait till week 2.
Right, man. I mean, we
I
did
could
get
miss
that.
every single move.
Do know that we could set up baton passes, so I got another use for Dunsparce outside of the multitude of ways you could already run this Pokemon.
Yeah, but remember, you can
bro.
only baton pass speed or stats without speed.
Your run source and baton pass.
I throw
Good.
that into a boom, and then nah. You know what? Let me.
You already
Right, next
time pass that thing to free
I
agent.
can't wait. I can.
Yo.
Yo, that was perfect. I couldn't have said it better myself, Amoongus.
So what do you rate my team since you're the team raider?
Yeah, I like this. I like Arrtz being the team raider.
I rated a 5 at most. Like I said, this is junior varsity, bro. You know how like you have the seniors and juniors on one team, and then you have like the freshmen and sophomore on the junior varsity team. I think this is the junior varsity team of the league, bro. I legit don't see this team going past week 2 looking the same. I really don't. Especially timeout. Especially because let's look at the S tiers that's still available. There's still some potent S tiers available that he could at any time drop Dunsparce and pick up. I mean, that's what I recommend him to do, to be honest. Like, to be honest, like,
Yo, I mean, to be real, there are better S tiers.
That's
oh,
fine.
100%. Now I understand he did it as first, maybe as a joke, and now, but he sounds all in now. So, I mean, if he don't want to make the playoffs again this year, that's his decision.
Oh, that's what a scrim is. You go into the scrimmage, you look for the things where your team needs help in. And I just want to say, me picking up a 6-0 with Dunsparce did not help increase.
First of all, there's 2 things that first of all, you have Carlos. who probably has the second worst team in the league after yours. Like, this is just my opinion. All right, that's number one. And number two, he threw. Like, he clearly threw. He could have KO'd you. He didn't, though.
How many kills did Dunsparce have?
It had 2, I believe.
It had 2.
Had 2, but it played a pivotal part in the 6-0. Let's put it that way. But like, I swear that was a stage scrim. It really was.
You really think Carlos has the second worst team? Considering
yes, I do.
He
when
has.
We get to his team, when we get to his team, I'll explain.
I don't know about that opinion.
I don't know about that opinion either. That's wow.
I don't know about Dunsparce for MVP.
Okay,
either,
so quick question. Are we going to towards the end of the stream, after we get through everyone's announcers, are we going to have a preseason power ranking or no?
We can do that. Yeah, I like that. Let's do that.
Okay.
So at the end, we'll create a list.
So I have one question for Arrtz.
Yeah.
So in the video, when you're facing against David, you had a Berserker out, and you literally just you look at him and be like, I know it's not even the main season yet, but you're Death Father.
Bro, like, it happens, bro. Like,
oh, that's so
look,
sad.
You gotta look at the situation, though. Time out. Number one, hold up. We can't take anything from that scrim. I legit bought mons that weren't battle ready. That's number one. Number two,
you really looked that man in his eye and said he was Death Father.
All right, bro. It was a scrim. It was a scrim.
That poor
Berserker.
Berserker.
It was a scrim. It was a scrim.
All right.
And you know,
All right.
He hit that play right for you to show that he was there for you.
But at the same time, think about it. At the same time, that was a misplay from David. He should have just went from close combat, because close combat hit everything hard on my team. Even if I would have switched out, close combat still hit everything extremely hard on my team. So let's be honest, that was a misplay.
All right. We're gonna move on to the next team.
Yes, let's do that.
Okay, we're on to the Seattle Starlies. The coach for this team, what's their? Yeah, it's Mikey. Yeah, so he picked Sandaconda as his G-Max, which was kind of out there based on his team. I'm looking at it, and I don't see it. I don't know why he picked that.
I was in Mikey. Shout out to Mikey, by the way. He was in the stream. I was in his stream earlier. He had an amazing stream. Doing a Pokemon Omega Ruby solo one with Numu, right? Shout out to Mikey. And at one point in the stream, he was talking about his draft team, and I don't know what he has planned, but he sounds extremely excited about this Sandaconda. So I don't know what he has up his sleeve, but the things he was proud of most drafting was Savali and Sandaconda. So I don't know how he's gonna make this work, but I just want to shout out that he was extremely excited about this pickup. So I am very excited to see what he's gonna do with it.
Okay.
And, to give you guys a little insight, this is his first ever draft league. Like, he always wanted to do a draft. He was really excited when he found out about
I would say
that's cool.
This is the one pick on his team that I must be asleep on, because I think it's a very solid team. But I'm interested to see how he uses Sandaconda.
Yeah, because there are a lot of other G-Maxes that are better that are available. Like, there's Caparaja, there's like all kinds of ones that are just like incredibly hard hitting and have really good effects.
That's yeah, you really are hitting the point right on it. On the Sandaconda is just. I'm not saying it's a bad.
I'm just saying
We're saying compared to the rest is a little underwhelming.
Yes.
Basically.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm just mad they took Zoroark from me.
Yeah, Zoroark is going to be
very
interesting.
excited about Zoroark as well.
Yeah,
that's going to be fun to play again.
He's going to be a troll team because of that. Like, that's going to be crazy.
The C tiers are all really good on this team.
Yeah. I'm very upset about the Dusclops. I really wanted Dusclops.
Yeah, like Dusclops could be a very pivotal trick room setter. He has Dusclops for trick room, Bronzong for trick room. Sandaconda is pretty slow, so I could see those three working together maybe.
Oh my god, I just realized what he can do.
I do notice that Tangela and Dusclops, both of them kind of want to run a Violite, so I don't see him bringing each of them.
He probably won't.
Yeah.
But if he runs Dusclops Trick Room and he brings Coil on Sandaconda, that could be huge.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Because if he coils up, he can really bulk up, and then Sandaconda also gets Glare, which can paralyze any Pokemon, which is ridiculous.
I think except for ghost types, but
Well, yeah, except for ghost types, but then yeah,
it's 100% para, which is
huge.
Yeah. He also has that para flinch option out of Togekiss, which I'm very surprised Elemental didn't go for last season.
Oh no, she did. She used it a lot.
My bad.
Yeah, she really did. Togekiss was one. Well, I can't say against other people because I didn't see much of. I'd seen some of her matches, but against me, she bought Togekiss both times, and it put a lot of pressure on my team, like playing around the Togekiss. So,
Yeah.
that's definitely a mon you got to respect.
Yeah, I agree. All right. So with that, does anybody have any other more comments on this?
Yeah, I rate this team. Let's see. I rate it about. I'll give it a. This is also like a solid 7. I'll say. I'll give it a 7. Especially like the biggest contributor factor is that Togekiss, along with the Savali. Savali is something that's always really annoying to deal with. So the fact, if you think about prepping for Savali and prepping for Zoroark, like that's going to be annoying to deal with every time you got to face it.
And on top of that, yeah, the Zoroark and Silvally, his team has the most dynamic, like, whatever it could do. Like, it's going to be really difficult to prepare for because he has that dynamic. Like, Silvally can be any type, and Zoroark can show up at any time and you don't know. Like, he could lead him on and you don't know if it's Zoroark or not. Because you might think, hey, I think that's a Zoroark, and then you go and you try and hit it with, like, a fighting move, and nothing happens. Especially with Dusclops.
It's a Ghost Silvally, bro. I don't know.
Yeah, Ghost Silvally is going to be probably huge. I feel like he'll bring that a lot. Unless he has, like, a clear matchup with it.
Team. Like I said, the Gigantamax may be a little underwhelming compared to just by name, but it, like I said, looking at it, it does kind of fit. It kind of fits.
Yeah, it fits. I can see it. But Caparajah would also fit, 'cause it's a Trick Room team. And Caparajah is really slow and hits like a truck.
Yeah. Is Caparajah still available?
Yes.
No, I believe it was. Is it still?
G-Max Caparajah is available.
That's something maybe they could look into the future as well, but you never know. We'll see.
All right, so on to the next one then. Here we go. All right, Baltimore Blaze against Tansy. You're up. The winner of last year.
Yeah, well, let's just start off with most of my picks. First round got sniped. Zoroark went, then G-Max and Teleon went. So then I was just kind of winging it. So, I mean, wound up with G-Max for Aldon, which is my returning G-Max. Skarmory is the S tier. Slowbro, Kanto, and Mimikyu as my A tiers, which we'll get into more Mimikyu later. Magneton and Exploud in the B. And then my C tiers are Eldergoss, Dredigan, Sandslash, and Xatu. So, Mimikyu was never part of the original draft. I traded that to Spark for Azumarill.
Yeah, because you stole my Azumarill. I'm still kind of upset about that.
You have it now, be quiet.
Amoongus still has my crocodile, so I don't.
Yeah, no, I was like, nobody got their mascots this season. I was shocked. Because, like, Crocodile was taken, like, all these Pokemon were taken by other people.
Amoongus still won't take my Umbreon $10 for it.
$10.
Alright, but yeah, Tansy, I see you got, this team is, like, really bulky with Skarmory, with Slowbro, Magneton, even with Eviolite, Eldegoss.
That was completely unintentional. I just kind of went into autopilot and was drafting things I thought would be fun.
The Xatu, even with Magic Bounce, can be like a out there kind of thing. Like somebody tries to set up rocks, he's switching to Xatu.
One thing I gotta say about the Azumarill trade is kind of like, outside of Slowbro now, your team has like no real resistance to a fire type. Like you have 3 steel types on your team.
Yeah, Dredigan.
Dredigan and Sandslash.
Yeah. Well, Ground have the greatest special defense.
But, okay, so, yeah, you have Slowbro and Dredigan, but those are 2 Pokemon out of the 8, like, that could really take a fire hit, you know what I mean?
And
so, I just want to say, Sandslash's good, bro.
I don't know about its special defense, though. I would have to take a look into that.
That special defense, hold up.
But yeah, like that's why I gotta say, just looking at your team, I was surprised that you traded away your Azumarill. But I mean, Mimikyu is a great pick. That disguise.
Yeah, just looking at it, I decided Mimikyu would be better and more versatile for my team.
Yeah. So Sandslash has a base special defense of 55.
Ooh, that's a little low.
But its defense is like really high though.
Yeah,
like
your base defense is 110. So, but in all fairness, your Sandslash has the same almost the same special defense stat as your G-Max, which is at 50.
But however, if
So
you run
what's
Assault
your-
Vest on Duraludon, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
And most people run that.
Assault Vest Gun. How'd that do for you last?
It actually did pretty
versus
well, I
Elite
think. He got a lot of kills with it.
It won him the championship.
Yeah, I was about to say he won.
I don't care. I still won. I still won our match.
So
I have video.
Shame.
It sounds like somebody's a little salty about the playoffs last season.
It sounds very salty to me.
No, I'm very salty. I didn't win, but you know, at least I can don't have to claim a crit cost me mine.
Oh my god.
That's crazy. That's insane.
What do you mean?
The other
Oh,
pick
I'm
for
sorry,
me-
Arrtz. I'm very sorry.
Yeah,
That was
the other-
supposed to be meant to you.
All right.
Well, I'm second guessing this tag team league that we in.
Oh my god, I forgot that you two are in a tag team league. Like, wow, seeing you two bicker, it's like, what? Okay.
We're still
Uh,
gonna win, but it's like,
That's
We're still gonna
tag
win.
team is the old married couple.
Yeah, I can see that.
The other pickup that was out there for me was XCloud. I originally wanted Tauros, but somebody else drafted that.
Well, Tauros is available now.
Really cool
Well,
team though.
now I built the team to include XCloud.
Yeah, and Xbox really cool on this team.
I love
Yeah,
Xbox.
because you
I love
you
Xbox.
need that special attack, I feel like, and it brings it.
I want to say, although you say like you got sniped a lot, your backup team, looking at it now, is still really strong. You know, the way you built it around. You know, like you said, also another thing I want to say, you kind of had a fighting type weakness, and then you pick up a ghost type. So I want to say, like,
I did have a fighting weakness in there.
Yeah, you did. Which is why I was willing to trade Mimikyu, because I feel like that would really help you too. And I really wanted a Azumarill.
Azumarill was very still like, you know, having a ghost type, which is kind of like the best type in this generation.
Yeah, I feel like Ghost and Fairy are like one of the best types, and he literally got him on that's both of those.
Sure. Right,
Yeah.
right.
All right.
So looking at it, for the most part, I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna rate most of these teams around like 7.5, because to be honest, on paper they're all pretty solid. And I'll say that each week it could go either way. Besides, like, not saying that these can't go either way either, but for the most part, I see everyone around that 7.5 tier. Besides, like the very top dog tiers, like Shade's team, which I rated at least the 8.5,
Yeah.
and Bishmii's team, which I rated a 5. Everyone else, I think, is pretty much even. One thing I will say about the Baltimore Blazerkins, I don't know, because I had stepped away for a quick second. I don't know if this was mentioned, but this team does seem like really weak to fire. So
It was
maybe that's right. So yeah, that's something that they may want to address throughout the season, but it's a pretty solid team.
Okay, we need a number.
Also, your
I
ice
said
type
7,
weakness
7,
is pretty
7.5.
bad.
7.5. Okay.
Right.
You also have an ice type weakness pretty bad.
Well, he does have like 2 or 3 steel types in the gate.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's got Slowbro on top of that, which
Slowbro, yeah.
honestly,
Slowbro
don't
can be-
sleep on Slowbro. Slowbro is going to do work,
Freeze
I feel like, on this
Slowbro's
team.
amazing. Slowbro's an
yeah.
amazing mod.
Especially with that regenerator, he could switch it in on pretty much, like, even the fire types that you're saying. Like, Slowbro has a huge special defense. Like, if
And
he...
especially if you just switch it out too for regenerator.
Right.
Yeah, regenerating. Like that, I mean, so with the fire, with like the weaknesses you were saying, Slowbro kind of counters both of those pretty hard, because it can heal on top of that.
Okay, I'll stand corrected. You guys are right.
But I mean, it is only one mon, so I get what you're saying, which means they're probably going to expect it coming because this is a draft league and all that. But yeah, I do think Slowbro is probably. I would say based on this, like looking at this team, I think Mimikyu and Slowbro are going to be the MVPs on this team. I can see that.
Oh, definitely.
All right, so on to the next team, which is the Atlanta Sable. Okay, Amoongus, you are up.
All right, so last season in the BSL,
I 6-0'd you.
you did, but it's really not that much of an accomplishment. I'm sure you were proud of yourself, but I was the last ranked team in the entire league, which that was what I was gonna say. And so, yeah, I mean, hey, however well you posterized me on the way, good for all my competitors, but we got to do better than that this year or this season. And so I was also lucky. RNG gave me the second pick in the draft overall. So 2 things I like about that. Of course, I get to go second. That's cool. And also, I really prefer to be on one of those corner picks. You know, I'd rather be 2nd or 15th than 7th or 8th. You know,
Right.
kind of closer to where I was at last season. But I think that last season, I think that my draft lacked a little bit of bulk compared to what I did this time. And, you know, it is what it is. You know, there were some close games. Maybe could have went the other way, but it's over now, and we placed what we placed. So all we do is better. Anyway, to get into the picks, with the 2nd pick overall, I took Gigantamax Blastoise. And for me, Cinderace, Blastoise, and Rillaboom was probably the 3 strongest Gigantamaxes I could have went for. So taking Blastoise was kind of like a matter of personal preference. I'd used it in some battles on my Twitch stream and stuff like that. I was like, man, I just really like the strength of this Pokemon. So I took it to kind of base my whole team off of right there from the beginning. Now, my S tier, I waited a little bit later in the draft to take, but I ended up taking Aegislash. For my A tiers, I took Crocodile and Alolan Marowak. For my B tiers, I took Tangrowth and Mienshao. And then for C tiers, I got some honestly pretty solid ones in my opinion. I got Comfey, Heliolisk, Sableye, and a Selgor. So I kind of already explained what my thought process was for my Gigantamax. I just really loved the just overall potency of the Pokemon. It brings good utility to my team, being able to rapid spin. It could be bulky. It can, you know, I thought that it was just a great, even picking 2nd was possibly the best Pokemon on the board at the time. So,
yeah, I mean, I gotta agree with your picks. You know, you have the B tier. You got 2 Regenerator Mons. With a lot of people do forget, Mienshao having Regenerator and then Tangrowth having Regenerator. So you kind of snipe. What was your pick? Why did you decide to pick Crocodile as your A tier? Like, what did you go behind that?
Well,
Hear this.
I picked, I came out right away with the picks of a fire Pokemon, a water Pokemon, a fire Pokemon, and a grass Pokemon. So my first 3 picks was Blastoise, Alolan Marowak, and Tangrowth. Mm-hmm. Then, as the draft went on a little bit further, as we had mentioned when we went over your team, I was going to put Magnezone right there on my A tier. And that got picked. I ended up taking Aegislash because I just wanted to have a really reliable steel type. Yeah. Would use one of my high tier Pokemon as a steel type. And seeing as I ended up with Aegislash and Alolan Marowak, Crocodile was a great pickup for me. It's got a good speed tier as well as both offensive and defensive modes, depending on how my opponent may come at me, considering I do, by the end of the draft, end up with 3 ghost types, which is slightly unbalanced, but you kind of can look at the ghost types in a way. Alolan Marowak, Aegislash, and Sableye can kind of balance out each other. Plus, I probably wouldn't bring all 3 in one matchup, but I brought that because I ended up with a kind of a handful of ghost types, right. And it's got 2 really great. Plus, with the Blastoise as the Gigantamax as opposed to like a regular pick of Blastoise, chances are it's going to be used more for that raw power than for the utility and the other things, depending on week to week and how it matches up with my opponent, of course. But if I'm running my Blastoise to, maybe sweep or clean up late game or wall break, something like that, you definitely want to have a reliable hazard setter, and Crocodile can definitely do that.
Yeah, I wanted to say, like, so looking at your team, you have a good balance between, the offense, the defense, and like that cleric role you're always talking about, that comfy, nothing to play with. And then you also have Prankster Sableye, Prankster Dark types are amazing, I want to say, especially in draft. Dark Spark had Sableye before.
I'm really upset that I lost Sableye.
Yeah, I was happy to pick that up. Honestly, I've loved that Pokemon for a long time, and I've never had the chance to draft it. But I've had to prepare for it a couple times in different drafts, and it's just so aggravating. It's such a headache.
Right.
Like it's nearly impossible.
Right. If you look at it, a lot of mons that was slept on in season 1, but DD Sparks ended picking them up. They was like really taken this season, like straight off from the draft, because I think Sparks, like, I think during the initial point of the season 1 draft, we was paying them mons no mind, but then I think once we had to sit down and prepare for DD Sparks, we was like, wait, these things are actually extremely annoying to prepare for. So I think a lot of the reason why things was picked up was actually because of DD Sparks, which I found pretty interesting.
So yeah, you mentioned my team's ability to heal itself, and it's definitely got a lot of that. The first 3 picks or 4 picks really don't fit the bill on that, but honestly, from the rest of the way down, well, maybe not a Selgor either, but hear me out though, because Tangrowth and Mienshao, they form like a regenerator core, right?
Yeah.
They both have access to momentum and regenerator, so that's solid. Comfy's triage ability, for those that don't know like the full tech on that ability, not only does it give priority to healing moves, but it gives +3 priority to healing moves. So say if my opponent clicked quick attack and I clicked any of the moves that Comfy has that apply to this ability, Draining Kiss, Giga Drain, Leech Seed, Aromatherapy. I mean, I'm probably not thinking of something off the top of my head, but you name it, because that Pokemon pretty much has them all. All of them get +3 priority, not just +1. Heliolisk has the ability to be a little bit of a self-healer if my opponent's running Rain, and there are 2 teams with Rain setters in the league, one of which is my week 1 opponent. Sableye is basically limited to like Pain Split and stuff, and a Selgor can heal its own status in the Rain, but it's also one of the top speed tier Pokemon and a fairly reliable like hazard setter. It's not bad as an offensive threat, but its speed is definitely its biggest asset to the team.
Quick question.
Yeah.
Doesn't Blastoise have a Rain Dish?
Yes.
Yes, it does.
It does count. Yeah, it's true.
So that's also another way you can heal up against a Rain team.
Right. My team definitely has that going for it in a bunch of ways.
It looks like Amoongus chose like a medic team.
Yeah.
That's what I was about to comment on. I was about to say, this is like a medic team. It just heals itself.
This team is that, and it hits really hard too. Like this team,
Yeah.
This would be one of those teams that I would say is upper echelon. Like this would be a team that is another one of those eight like on the scale. That's an 8 and above team. I would consider this one of them.
Okay.
So yeah, this team is real. This is a team that I actually fear going forward.
So you would give this an 8?
8.5, I'll say.
Okay.
This team,
Give it an 11.
Does anyone have any other comments though on the Atlanta Sobble?
Nope.
Just trying to point out some weaknesses, I guess. Not really though.
I don't.
I will
That's the
say,
thing
though,
is like this. The weaknesses are all covered by this team.
That's one thing. But if we want to talk about specific mon, this team, Charizard if we just talk about Charizard, could do a lot of work against this team.
I don't know.
Just look at it from
Crocodile.
my
There's
point of view.
Crocodile, Alolan
Crocodile.
Marowak.
We could hit Crocodile with a max overgrowth. He
If
doesn't
you
wanna
run
take
Solar
that.
Beam.
Right. That's, I mean, yeah. So I'm just saying, like, I have Charizard can put in a lot of work at this team.
Firefly.
The only problem is
Right.
if you do run that Solar Beam, you're most likely going to be running a Sun team, which then Heliolisk has the ability Solar Power, which
Yeah,
it can one-shot even a G-Max Charizard.
It's pretty,
That's true.
it's
That's
pretty
true.
solid, but there are definitely some areas that are better than others with this team. Like I may have great healing, but I do also have certain type weaknesses. You know, I got 3 ghost types. I may have a reliable fighting and a reliable dark type. I got a couple pretty reliable dark resists, but like still a lot of ghost types. Maybe
But yeah, but your
maybe
Sableye
would be hard to deal with.
Right.
Sableye is not weak to dark types because it's a dark type
Very.
itself.
Right.
I think Sableye only is weak to Fairy.
Yep, Sableye's only
Right.
weakness is Fairy type.
Yep.
And is like things like that can still give me a lot of problems.
Okay, because it forces you to switch out. You wanna say.
Yeah, like right, and I mean, also, you know, you can consider the fact that both of my regenerator Pokemon are weak to flying. You know, like it's not perfect.
Well, yeah, but a draft team is almost never perfect.
Right, it's not.
Right.
There are some weaknesses, and a couple really good things, but some things that aren't exactly perfect. Hopefully, anything that goes wrong, I can just heal myself, right?
True.
Yes.
All right.
It's only a scratch. Walk it off.
It's only, 'tis but a flesh wound.
It is just has a whole arm missing. It is but a flesh wound.
All right, we're gonna move on. The next team is, I believe it's Darude Sandstorm.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, honestly, coming out the gate, I helped her plan this team, like, because she was originally gonna go with the Zoroark team, but I helped her plan it a little bit because she wanted to adapt to it, and she really liked what Tansy did in season 1, so she wanted to make something similar. On
So we
top,
have you to blame for this, Tansy.
kind of, yeah, because she was gonna run an electric terrain team, but then I was like, well, why don't you just throw Sandstorm on it? And she's like, oh my god, it's amazing. So, honestly though, I have to say this is probably my top team, my top pick in the league. Again, because last season she was my top pick as well.
Yeah, you know, she did lose to Tansy last season in the finals.
Yeah, in the finals.
So she kind of took a copy paste of that.
Yeah.
The extra drill in the sand.
Respect.
You know, she also, I want to say, she sniped a lot of people with that Pincurchin. You know, seeing that rising voltage. I'm pretty sure Eric wanted it. I know Carlos wanted that. And then picking up Alolan Raichu on top of that, that's going to be scary to deal with. On top of the Gigalith Excadrill with the sand, you know, believe she did originally draft G-Max Copperajah, and then I don't know if you guys saw it, but in the trade channel, she traded for G-Max Dreadnought. She figured that Dreadnought would have been better in the sand as opposed to Copperajah, because, you know, Dreadnought gets that special defense boost being in the sand, and Copperajah's G-Max move sets up the Steel Spikes, and Dreadnaught's sets up the Fox. So, you know, it's a little plug and play there. I mean, looking at her team, you know, like you guys said, this is going to be a very tough team to deal with, and she's kind of on my side too. So I don't know how my Dunsparce is going to deal with this.
No, Bishmii, I don't think she's on. Oh no, she is on your side. Never mind. I'm wrong.
I also
Yeah, this is
support the
This is
Duraludon.
my favorite team.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, she's got a lot of sand. Venusaur is another like cover for a lot of like weaknesses she has. That's why she picked it. She originally had something else. I can't remember what it was though exactly. But so yeah, and then she has Mantine, another water absorbing mon.
One of the best, I want to say, you know, Arrtz at that thing twice. In the other 2 draft leagues I've been in with him, he drafted Mantine, and I've had to face it twice. So,
Yeah, Mantine is a wonderful mon to pick up out of C tier.
Yeah,
It's really, really good.
she also has Blissey though.
Yeah, Blissey, that's probably the most annoying thing I see on her team, because that's something we all got to deal with on our side. That thing, like,
don't
I'll
anything.
kind of be tempted not to bring special attackers against this team.
Yeah, it's
Like,
true.
you bring hard hitters because if you have a special, you don't want it to be a situation where you have like special attackers left and Blissy's left, because then it's just
Then
gonna
you're
wear you
done.
out.
It's
Yeah,
over.
that's gonna be so annoying to deal with.
The problem is, though, also, even like if you have special attackers, if you run one physical attacking move, it pretty much can still take out a Blissey.
Yeah.
That's true.
So, like, you can, like, because Blissy's defense, I think, is like 10.
It's 10. Yeah, it's 10. It's 10.
It's literally 10. So, like, even if you have, like, a base attack of 50, you're still doing massive damage to it.
Yes.
I guess one thing to say is that she kind of has a big fighting weakness that a lot of people have.
Yes, that's something I picked up on as well.
Yeah, no, I can see that. Yeah, she has a lot of fighting. I think that's what it was. In A tier, she was going for Mimikyu, but I picked it. That's what it was.
Venusaur.
Yeah. So she drafted Venusaur because Venus was also resistant to fighting. I think that's the biggest thing that she had for it because of its poison typing.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
So I would have actually switched side.
I'm surprised you didn't go for Gengar then.
That's true. Maybe I'll have to talk to her. We'll figure it out.
No, don't do it.
She also has Senna Scorch though, which is resistant with fighting.
Right, Everthis is
She's-
fighting as well.
yeah. And Mantine. So actually, she's got. I don't know.
This team is
Yeah.
pretty bulky too when you look at it. It is,
Yeah.
especially on the special defensive side.
And I'm telling
be
you
really,
that
really bulky.
Pincurchin, Alolan Raichu is gonna really hurt people.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
gonna,
dear
that's gonna
God.
be interesting.
No, she's gonna nuke somebody's flying type with the Pincurchin Venusaur.
Fletchender go crazy, right?
That might be the one, bro. That might be the flying type that gets nuked.
Like, it's crazy. I don't know. And then that Excadrill in the sand, it can either get Sand Rush or Sand Force. So you don't know if it's going to be fast or it's going to hit harder. Like, this team is crazy.
This team, I love this team. This is a team. Obviously, this is like, I believe there was like 3 teams on paper that I was like, nah, these are the upper echelon teams. It was this team right here, Amoongus' team, and Shade's team. This team I rate 8.5 to a 9. I really, really like this team a lot.
This would be my favorite team. I think my top 3 would probably be this one, maybe yours or Shades, and then one of the ones that we still haven't talked about yet. But yeah, this would be I don't know about the number 2 and 3, but this would definitely be my number 1. My
I
favorite
agree.
team.
Right.
My top 3 teams is me, of course. Gotta have me as top. Then Elemental's team, this one, Sandstorm. And then actually, I like the underdog a lot. I want to go for Bishmii, number 3.
I do think Bishmii being the underdog is amazing. I can definitely see it. He's the dark horse of the league.
After that 6-0, I am completely certain that he is the main protagonist of this series. We're all just here.
Like, well, another thing is, we didn't think, when we first started Season 1, we didn't think Bloud's team was anything, like, special. We were just like, oh, it's just a normal team. And he came out the gate, and he just wiped the floor with everybody.
Especially Shade, I remember that.
Hey, hold up. I went down to a 1-0. How much did you lose?
Actually,
I'm to a 1-0.
was 3-3.
You lost.
Yeah, Bishmii won that match actually because of time.
Because of Ty, yeah, that was the one match he lost in the actual
You had to
season.
win because of time. Bravo.
He was setting up in my face.
Yeah, if that match would have continued, I do think that maybe Bloud would have won.
Blau
But
would have won that.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
you gotta realize we don't got time for that, bruh.
On the
Yeah.
flip side, though, Bishmii, he did go like 20 plus moves without 1 crit, which is insane. That's so. I mean, there's a lot of ifs and ifs. All we know is that he won the time, so that's what we got to roll with.
all right, we're gonna go to the next one, which I think is the last team on the armor side,
before we get
the
to
armor
this next
league,
one-
which is the other Atlanta team, which is Atlanta Gliscors.
Before we get to this next one, I have to say I gotta get going for tonight because this ran later than I thought it would. So
Yeah, that's 100%.
you guys later.
I was thinking maybe if anyone's available, because this is going to be an extremely long video. If we do the other divisions, well, maybe we could break it up into 2 videos.
Break it up
This
into
one's
2
gonna be
videos. That's
focused on-
perfect.
right.
I
This
like
one could be
that.
Focused on this division, then we do another one focused on the next division.
I like
I
that.
like it.
All right, so Tansy, could you stay for this last team?
Yes, I can.
All right,
This one.
perfect. We can finish this last team, and then we can be done with this. All right.
Okay.
So this is the last team. This is the Atlanta Glyscores. Who's the coach for this one? Isn't it
Not Shady Kid.
Oh yeah, this is the Not Shady Kid. Does anybody
Mhm.
know him or no? Out of curiosity.
I don't.
I don't know him.
I know
Shade?
him.
So nobody knows this guy. He just appeared literally when we needed somebody too. So it's kind of weird. I was like, holy crap, he just popped out of nowhere.
He might
Haven't
join from one of the other leagues that I posted because I'm in like 2 other leagues, and we have a lot of people like just looking to join a draft league.
Okay,
he
so you might have
join
posted
from
it from
invite.
that. Okay. Because I was like, it came in our time of need. He like just popped up. So we were like just about to start the draft, and Adam had to leave, and he's like, "Nah, I'm not gonna be a part of this." I'm like, "Oh my gosh, okay." So I'm like, "Please, can anybody find anybody to join?" And then this guy pops up, and I'm like, "Oh, perfect."
Yeah.
So, all right, but his team looks a lot like what my team kind of was like last season. He's got Hatterene for his G-Max, which is a scary G-Max. It can hit really hard.
Yes,
It was one of the top 3 G-Max, I think, of the last season. And then Darmanitan, which is possibly one of the hardest hitting Pokemon, I think, that's currently in the game. Because
Right.
it has a built-in choice band.
Right.
And then he's
Yeah,
got
Go ahead.
he's got a Rain Setter with Politoed and Kingdra, which can take advantage of that with like the Swift Swim. But I think that's like his only advantage to the Swift to the Rain, which I found a little weird. Lurantis, which has Contrary, which is also pretty huge. The only downside I think is Lurantis is a little slow, so like it can be easily taken out. But if you can set it up right, I think it can do a lot of damage.
Right.
In that
Stop using these hats.
No, I think you guys are sleeping on the Rhydon that can use Surf in the rain.
In the rain?
Okay.
Y'all sleeping on it for no reason.
Well, if we put it that way, he originally had Pikachu, and that could also learn Surf. So I mean,
He took
To
pity
be
on
honest,
us.
I thought that's when they picked Pichu. I thought that was the mindset too.
surfing
Surf.
Pikachu,
Yeah, Thunder and Surf. That's what I thought.
That's a tech. Light bulb.
Light Ball, Thunder, and Surf. Oh my god, that's funny.
Tell me what's going to stay on that. What's going to stay on that?
That's true.
Yeah,
what can?
this team is pretty interesting. I do like it. Like you said, it has some really hard hitters, as the Hatterene, which I really appreciate what you did with it last season, running the G Max Hatterene with weakness policy, because that made it where you didn't want to hit it, because like most of the time it was gonna live the hit, and then you could just hit it back extremely hard. I learned that. I don't know if you noticed in our draft battle in the playoffs. I learned that from my first battle during the regular season. I was running the Max Steel Spike on Snorlax, but I refused to hit it while your Hatterene was like above a certain amount of health. My plan was to like get as low as possible, then hit it with the Max Steel Spike, because I knew for a fact that thing was most likely Karis weakness policy. So you doing that actually put a lot of pressure on the team. Obviously the Darmanitan is something that you hate going against when you got a plan for it.
Yeah,
And I really do love the Porygon Z pick as well.
yeah.
I love that pick. That pick is, if you don't deal with Porygon Z accordingly, that thing could become a sweeper quickly. So I think this team does have a lot of potential to do things this season. It's really, really interesting.
And he's got
Yeah.
like Bulk, he has Rhydon, he has Escavalier,
Right.
even Rotom
Yes.
Frost, which,
Yes.
I mean, its stats are nothing to laugh at. Sure, the typing's a little weird,
Right.
but
The style is Leah, but it's a Rotom, so it's,
Yeah.
it's decent no matter what.
does anyone have any other comments on this team, really?
Yeah, I mean, like I was saying, this is my week 1 opponent, and I mean, y'all pretty much kind of covered the most of it. It's an extremely hard-hitting team. The only thing, as far as like, I wouldn't say glaring, but you know, some of the weaker areas of this team, you know, he doesn't have the same like speed that a lot of the teams have. I mean, Darmanitan's the fastest Pokemon on the team, not counting Swift Swim.
But his G-Max has Trick Room.
Trick Room. And it's
Right,
like,
right.
and
Yeah.
Escavalier dominates in Trick Room.
Yeah, that's true.
Which,
done.
I mean,
Go ahead.
he could go that route, but like a lot of his Pokemon are kind of like at that mid speed tier. Like
Yeah.
Rotophos is in the 80s, Braviary is in the 80s, Porygon's 90, Kingdra 85.
I thought Kingdra was 95.
No, it's 85.
It's 85? Okay.
Yeah, Darmanitan's 95. It's the fastest member of the team.
That's an interesting point. I didn't realize that looking at the team. For some strange reason, I thought Porygon Z was in the hundreds.
But, you know, you also have this thing going where, it can be fast. You know, it could be Scarf Darmanitan. It could be Scarf. Any of those mid-speed Pokemon are quite fast if you have a Choice Scarf on them. And you have Swift Swim on the Kingdra. So it becomes really, really fast. And it's an extremely hard-hitting team. Like, maybe the defenses aren't, you know, all the greatest, and maybe the speed ain't all the greatest, but the layout of the team kind of like challenges opponents. It's like, all right, well, what are you gonna do about it though? I still got Hatterene, I still got Darmanitan, still got Kingdra, still got Porygon. All right, you're faster. Go ahead.
I mean, he has the potential to run a Scarf on him on too. Like the Scarf Darmanitan is something
Right.
you don't want
That's
to deal with.
terrifying.
Yeah, that's what I said. And I mean, right. That's. I guess that's my whole point. Is that there are ways that the team can deal with what weaknesses it has. It's probably going to still be an offensive team more than a defensive team at the end of the day. But the point being is like, can you truly outpace this team?
Right.
Yeah, that's actually exactly what I'm thinking. If you can outpace it, I think you might have that'll give you the edge. But that's
Yes, I agree. Yeah, this is a fun team to look at. Like I said, this is a team that I'm looking forward to see how it performs. It's another one of those like I said, if you're not top tier, or what I presume to be a little bit lower, I think everyone falls into the same range of 7 to 7.5. I would rate this team about a 7. It's good. It's good. It has some nice names on paper.
Oh, yeah.
right. The
How
one
it fits together, that's what we gotta wait and see as the matches play out. But on paper, it does have a lot of good names.
The one scary thing I'm looking at right now is if you do have Trick Room with Hatterene, Lurantis is probably the biggest threat you can possibly have.
Yeah.
Because it's slow already, and then basically it can just hit you really hard and set up at the same time.
Yeah, that's creepy.
But yeah, other than that, that's pretty much it on this team. And that's it for the Armor League, actually.
All right, so now let's we could have either Amoongus or DD Sparks yourself, so we don't have too many opinions going in. Can someone possibly do like a power ranking of the Armor League itself?
All right. Oh, great. I'm gonna have to look it up, but oh, jeez.
I know this league, this division is really tough.
This is probably the tougher division, to be honest.
I want to be in a different one. I want to be another one.
I'm kind of doing this live, but yeah. Hold on.
Yeah, I want to hear what you have to say, Amoongus, first.
All right, so number 8, that's the easy one.
Bishmii's waiting for you to say something.
Go ahead.
Yeah, number 8, that's definitely gonna be the New York Knicks.
God dang it.
Sleep on my man, if you wish.
I mean, call it sleeping, we'll see. But number 7, I don't know. This is such a good division. Honestly, I'm already going to that Atlanta Glasgow's team probably.
Yeah, I can see that.
To be honest, I would agree. I would agree with that.
I agree with that.
Next, I'm gonna probably go for the Seattle Starlys. Number 6. Number 5. Might be where I go. I mean, it's either me or the Baltimore Blazekins. Let me look at the Baltimore Blaziken team one more time.
Yeah, I think once you start getting 5-1, that's where it starts getting. Well, that 5 through 3 and 2.
Yeah,
that's where it gets tough.
It probably would be me right here at number 5, and then Baltimore. So then that leaves
Arrtz's team, which is the
I'll probably put
Right.
Arrtz at number 3.
Right, I would
That's
place
Wyndham.
myself there as well.
and then there's the Straw Hat Crocodiles, and then there's the
Number 2 is their
Yeah.
one of my favorite teams.
and then the
and
Darude Sandstorm, which is
That's
Elemental's
my
team.
favorite team.
That sounds pretty legitimate.
Actually, that's exactly what I would
respect
put.
that. Yeah, I respect that.
I don't know.
Pretty much the
Our
same.
system is a little bit too high, but everything
That's
else.
crazy. The hate is ridiculous. That's crazy. Is it
I'm
because
telling-
I said your team was a 5? Is that why?
Arrtz, I just have a
Hey.
feeling if you had Sun on your team and you had some sort of dynamic, the thing is you have a bunch of solid Mons, but it's just another thing is like you said, it's how they work together.
Right,
and
right,
with
right,
your
right.
team,
I agree with that.
it's a little more like tricky on how they all work together.
Right,
I-
that's something that, to be honest, that's something as the season goes on, I'm gonna have to figure out myself. If I'm being 100% honest.
So there you have it, folks. Arrtz doesn't even have his strategies. He's gonna just play it as it comes and go, oh, that works.
Bro,
That's
no,
100% true.
Bro, that's a
That's
huge
100%
tech. You guys
true.
don't understand. If he doesn't know what he's doing, how the hell?
Y'all not gonna know what I'm doing.
You think
No,
I know what I'm
I mean-
doing? I don't even know what I'm doing.
Truth be told, though, I mean, on Bishmee's team, like, it's all about the plays at the end of the day. But you can't honestly think that team is the best on paper.
Right,
Without
Bishmee's
any-
team is
with
gonna-
no games being played. That team does not look like the best.
Right, that's right. That's it's gonna have to come down to a lot of tech and outplay for Bishmee's team to thrive. Like, it clearly isn't on paper. It doesn't have the raw talent that these other teams have. If we're being honest.
6 shows back to back. Can I go to number 1?
Hey, you gotta,
Hey,
you gotta
hey.
do it.
Hey,
You gotta do it.
I will
bro.
make
You
this
gotta do
deal
it.
with you, Bishmii. If you win the top 3, if you win your next 3 games, you'll be number 1.
Hey, let's get it.
I like that.
Like, I don't think anybody will doubt you if you win the first 3 games.
Determining factor for power ranking the record, but right now nobody has one.
True.
Hey, you know,
You sitting here with 4 Pokemon with base stat totals of like $150.
I love how you describe it as a $150. That's funny. That's a great way to describe some Pokemon, I guess.
Strange looking Pokemon, and it's just I wonder about you, bro.
Bro, all I'm gonna say is this: I'm looking at my schedule right now. I'm so glad I do not have to play that Dunsparce until week 7.
God.
Oh, you got him. At the
That's your
end of the
final
season.
match.
That's my final match. That's the boss level. I have to deal with
Yeah,
the
I
beginner level.
promise you.
Watch
That
that be
time
the
I don't
match
have to
that
build it at all.
determines if you make it to the playoffs or not, Shade.
That'd be crazy because Amoongus was actually no. I really needed to lose to Amoongus, so I didn't have to face Elemental. I wanted to throw that match so bad, but I just didn't know how to make it look legit.
That's hilarious.
But like, I'm looking at my shoulder right now. Yeah, that's Bishmii is my boss fight. Like, I have the beginner wildfire. Nah.
I love how you put Arrtz as your beginner level.
Crazy.
That's
Oh
a
no,
tutorial.
that's
not even a level.
crazy.
That's a
I
tutorial.
just looked at my last game, and it's against the Elementals team, the Darude Sandstorm.
Oh yeah, that's the boss level too.
The oh no, his voice, like the realization that it was his last team, and the uncertainty was amazing just now. Oh no, I love it.
Everyone's
You gotta
like, oh,
pick up
no.
some wins early on. I can't be at that win to get in position.
Hey, but Amoongus, to make you feel any better, you'll have video on them because I faced them before you do.
You do?
Yeah, I faced them for my week 6.
Oh, okay.
So I
Well, I
got
guess
you.
everybody does, honestly, but
Yeah, well, everyone's got to fight each other. Let's see. Oh, Arrtz has to deal with the Atlanta Glide Sports his last match.
Just an interesting.
That's
Interesting.
not
Well,
gonna
you
lie
see,
to you,
I mean,
not gonna lie.
truth be told, I think that's probably. I mean, not that it's not close. I mean, even Bishmee's team, I expect to do fairly well, but on paper, I don't think that's one of the better teams in the league. On paper, Elemental's team looks crazy.
Right.
All right, so one last thing before we give off. I actually want to go over week 1 results to see who you think will win.
Oh, picks.
Yeah, picks real fast, just real fast to get it done and over with. So, okay. So week 1, we have Arrtz versus Shade.
Jade.
Shade.
Tansy, who do you think?
Shade.
Shade. Okay. What about you?
I'm going with Arrtz.
You going with
Like,
Arrtz? What about Bishmii? Picking Arrtz?
Yeah, Arrtz.
Oh my god, I'm the deciding factor. I'm sorry, Arrtz, but he's got Cinderace.
Cool, bro. Yeah, it's cool.
I want Arrtz to win.
No hard feelings.
I'm sorry, Shade, but I want Arrtz to win because you're coming in just so cocky this entire season. I'm sorry. You're like, I'm gonna just wreck everybody. So
I gotta take Arrtz because of all the
I'm gonna be honest. If I had some of the power he had, I'll be coming in like that too. You can't blame him. He does have a
true.
Crazy
he
team.
does. He's got Dragapult
Compared to
and
my
Cinderace.
Compared to my last season's team, like my last season I went for memes, I decided, you know what, I'm just going to test out this team. It didn't do too bad.
No, it didn't.
Broke me out 5-5 even. This season, I really wanted G-Max Cinderace because one is like Nesquik funny. That's one of my like favorite jokes about it. So
Yeah.
All right. So I think the Atlantas fight each other first.
Yep.
All right. So who do we vote for the Atlantas?
I'm going with Amoongus.
You're going
He
with
said
Amoongus?
Atlanta. He said Atlanta.
Well, okay. Obviously, this is the battle of the city, people. Like whoever wins is the top team of the city. This is like for Ohio. There's the Browns and the Cincinnati Bengals. They're both part of
The Yankees and the
That's
Mets.
not even a
Yeah.
fight.
Giants and Jets.
That's
Like
not even a fight.
Atlanta supremacy here. I'm going with the Sables, like I said.
Sobbles.
the king of the South.
Sobble game.
I'm gonna say Sables because I really, really want them to win because I believe they're the dark horse coming into this league right now.
We're going hard this season.
Have you not seen the New York Knicks team?
Well, no, I know. Okay,
You don't.
okay. I'm talking from last season's paper to now. I want that's what I'm talking about.
Have you not seen the New York Knicks?
I know the New York Knicks team is very, very like what is going on here, but that's all I have to say. Okay, so Tansy, who do you fight for week 1?
I play the Nickets.
Who do you think?
Oh my god.
Oh Lord.
I have to pick myself on that one.
I'm sorry, but I picked Tansy's team too.
You know what? I'm not gonna say too much, but based off the scrims, I'm riding with the Nickets. I'm riding with the Nickets on this one.
Okay.
Nah,
Siri,
nah,
flip a coin.
not me, dog. I'm taking the
I'm
Yeah, I'm taking the Blazikins as well.
I'm
So
going
what
with
about-
Bishmii.
You're going Bishmii? Okay, alright.
Flip the coin for it.
Hey, look, all I'm saying is I've seen some things in scrims that obviously I can't talk about, but I'm going with the Nickets on this one.
Alright, and then the final matchup, it's the Darude Sandstorm versus, I believe...
Starlies.
Yeah, the Starlies. That's actually a good matchup.
Oh, that's a great matchup.
So,
That's
I'm
a
taking
great
the
matchup.
Sandstorm about the
I want to be honest. That Sandaconda actually does a lot of work against her team. I'm not
But it
gonna
also
lie.
does the opposite by creating a sandstorm, which could last longer.
It does.
Yeah.
It does.
She brings if they bring that.
This is a tough. This might be like as far. Well, obviously, myself and Shade is probably highly anticipated as well, but this one is right there with it, in my opinion. I really
agree.
like this matchup.
yeah, I'll probably call y'all's match more anticipated, but this is probably
Right.
like I don't know, y'all's is really close, but we got two content creators.
Well, that's
Right,
gonna be so
right.
good because we're gonna be able to see that week 1 battle.
Yes.
Because of Mikey.
Yes, Mikey does. He's actually gonna start. Like he doesn't video upload. He only does stream right now. He's gonna use the BSL to start like recording and editing videos.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay.
Right. So these are gonna be This is gonna be fun to watch. Oh my gosh! Wait, let me take one final glass at the teams and then make my decision.
I have to pick the Rude Sandstorm because they're my number 1 team in this half of the
It
league.
must be your wife.
Yeah, that's my favorite.
Yeah, that's also true.
I mean, they even if they did start off with a loss, they'd still be one of the strongest teams in my book. But this is my number 1 team. I'm not gonna come out the gate betting against them.
No, I agree. Tansy,
You know,
Sandstorm.
Sandstorm.
Hands down.
I can't find Seattle. Where are they?
Man, how do you
Okay, I
miss
see him.
everything?
I see him. I'm going to go with the Sandstorm. I mean, did I say it right? Yeah, the
Yeah,
Sandstorm.
they're
I'm gonna go
the
with
yeah
them.
the
I'm gonna
Rude
go with them.
Sandstorm.
Yeah,
Because
I'm gonna go with them.
she made such a weird name for it, but she was like, it's an electric sandstorm team.
To be
It's gotta be the
honest,
Rude Sandstorm.
It's
To
a
be
song.
honest, looking at it on paper, his sound card does work, but he really doesn't have any answer. Depending on what he does with Savali, he really doesn't have the Sandstorm have Escadrille, right? If
Yep.
not- yeah, he really doesn't have an answer for that. Tangela, especially since it's not Tank growth, I don't even think Tangle is enough to really. That would be his best answer, and that's not. I think if he gets up a sword, if Escadrille get, I don't want to speak, but yeah, I think Escadrille puts way too much pressure on this team.
I agree with that. What about you, Shade?
Siri, flip another coin. I'm going with Mikey. I'm going with Starlies.
Okay, so we got everybody voting for Darude Sandstorm besides Shade going for the Starlies. Yeah, but I do think Arrtz and Shade's
Plus-
battle with that battle are probably the two battles to watch.
Plus, shout out to Elemental. Like, we've seen what she could do last year. She is a very calculated battler. I'm not too aware of how Mikey battles, so that's another factor that I gotta go. Like, we know what Elemental's capable of. She's extremely dangerous.
No, I
so
know.
that's another factor.
Well, that's because she spends too much time on the computer. All right, but that's it. Thank you all for joining. I hope you all enjoyed being here and going over like this half of the team, like the draft. We're gonna go over the other half another time. But thank you all for watching. Thank you for all for joining us and commentating as well. But yeah, I'm gonna be trying to make more videos in the future. I'm gonna be doing probably this. I want to try maybe League of Legends and put that on here. I don't know if I can.
Watch.
Yeah, that possibly, or some other things as well. I'm definitely doing Smash Bros though. Like, I have to do that. I go to tournaments. I do stuff with that.
Bishmii over here, who's probably like compared to us, he's low key a pro.
Really?
So yeah, Bishmii's really good at Smash.
He's really good at it.
I really want to play him in Smash now though, because I've gone to tournaments though, and I've actually done pretty well.
He plays it. Yeah, he went to tournaments too. Like he's really
Wow.
good.
Okay.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, you guys have something to watch now.
All right. Well. All right. Thank you guys for.
having us, man.
Nope.
Thank you. Thank you so
No
much.
problem. All right, and tune in next time.
Have to commentate.
All right, tune in next time. Thank you all for watching. Bye.
All right. Thank you. Bye.